What up, y'all? It's I2I35 aka Josiah David, and welcome to another video of the Correcting SolRosenberg84 series. But I just want to address a lot of these straw men and ad hominem attacks that this guy always tries to bully other creationists like me. You're referring to two types of evidence, SolRosenberg84. You're referring to the same evidence that we both see, like the Grand Canyon, or the human fossils, or the fossils in the ground in general, or the races, or the many dog types in the world, or the whole world. We are looking at the same world, but we have different world views. And the supposed evidences you're thinking of are the evidences which have been proven wrong over 100 years ago, even half a century ago. And I think you really offended this guy whom you were referring to, because I think I'm sure he was really disappointed by what you said to him and such. But I have many points to address in this video, so here we go.
Thank you. Now he attacks my intellect and puts himself on a higher pedestal than me, because obviously he's much superior to me. How about you actually...
Do you realize that you're saying exactly what you're doing? You're setting yourself up on a higher pedestal. You're trying to say you're better than everyone else, but at the same time you're calling yourself an idiot. You're very contradictory, man. Evolution is full of contradictory elements and circular reasoning. You're full of it. I'm sorry. You're just inconsistent in your logic. You say you're for logic and reason, but you're not for truth, are you?
So, dude, I'm just guessing that you're a young Earth creationist, just from your username. Or maybe the fact that you've got a video about...
I would like people not to call us young Earth creationists. We rather prefer to be called biblical creationists, because the Bible says what it says, and we take it at face value, and we find that the evidence matches squarely with what is written in the Bible. And please, I really want to say this to everyone else. Stop dubbing it creationism. Ism goes for something that isn't true, or rather mythical. Creation has evidence, and stop trying to say that creation is only based on faith and evolution is based on facts. No, it's the other way around. I'm sorry, it's the other way around. Evolutionism is based on faith, while creation has facts to back it up. Okay, he's just waving a piece of paper around. I mean, you can't see it right now, just so how slow this computer is, but he's just acting like a moron, okay? I've hardly ever encountered any creationists who just want to act like morons, and especially... Are you trying to say that this is the supposed personality we're supposed to adopt? If, the founders of science weren't like that. The founders of science were mostly creationists, and they knew that by studying creation, they could objectify and actually able to create these laws that exist that are the foundations for science.
They believe in the evil scientist cabal, that all scientists are set up by Satan to come and attack the good.
No, we do not think that at all. Half of scientists actually believe in evolution. A whole bunch of them are actually creationists and have actually PhDs in education. And you're trying to say that, oh, we believe they're sent from the devil? No, they're just believing a lie made up by the devil. That's what we believe. And no, I like science. We're trying to say that evolution has nothing to do with science.
If the Earth had evidence that the world really was 6,000 years old, that light from distant stars...
Okay, he's setting up some ad hominem attacks, but let's continue.
...never reached us, that the gene pool was made completely shallow by a massive flood approximately 2,000 to 3,000 years ago, and this was all physical evidence, and that all human beings didn't come from Africa, did not slowly migrate across the world, that wasn't existent, that the evidence showed that people came from, way in the Middle East somewhere at one time and then spread out again, and that all language and culture can come from a single source and then grow out from that area, such as be suggested by Babel's Tower. If that was actually what was out there, that is what the scientific world would believe.
But you're saying there is no evidence. You got your fingers in your ears and your eyes closed saying, I'm blind and I can't see it either. The exact evidence has actually been confirmed that worldview is actually confirmed. I mean, I have to say that a lot of people don't watch Ken Hovind's seminars far enough, even all the way to his questions and answers sessions. I mean, I think it's really vital and necessary that they do that. I mean, they were only offended by his first few videos because they attack their religion, not their science. See, evolution is not part of science, it's a religion, and they defend their worldview with religious fervor and zeal. And that's why they filter out evidence that may support creation. And that light did not take billions of years to get here. Scientists have just recently discovered that light was even thousands of times faster back in the past. And the question is not how did the starlight get from there to here, but how did the star get from here to there? I mean, many times Sol Rosenberg said in this video, oh, the universe is expanding. Well, that pretty much confirms the many verses in the Bible that God stretches out the heavens.
We don't have those beliefs. The reason why we don't share that worldview with you is because that is not what the evidence says. So yes, if you believe in Noah's Ark...
In your dreams, man. You're saying that's not what the evidence says. Well, what are your sources? You never really give anything that tries to back up your things. Arguing against creation is not evidence for evolution. See, the facts are stubborn things. If they don't square with your theory, they throw your theory away. They would have thrown out evolution a long time ago, except they don't have a replacement theory other than creation. You know, many paintings, wall paintings, cave paintings of dinosaurs have been found, but a lot of humanistic journalistic sources filter that out because they know it's going to support creation. Your overuse of the word evidence, I mean, you just use that to your advantage, and, you know, the evidence, I'm sorry, that you're using has been proven along a long time ago.
Both denying empirical data. You are both denying human reason. You're denying both.
You're denying it yourself. You're saying exactly what you're doing. You're the one who is denying You're the one who's denying both the evidence and human reason, and you're denying truth as well. You always talk about logic and reason, but you never even talk about truth.
Species that are on this planet, man. Don't you think there'd be some evidence that they'd all be wiped out at approximately one time, or their gene pools made extremely shallow 3,000 years ago? That shit doesn't disappear.
Well, it beats what you believe. You believe that all the species of the dogs came from a rock. I mean, it is possible that in only a few thousand years, all the species could have descended from the certain kind of dog. And you're saying, oh, the flood took place 2,000 or 3,000 years ago? No, you say 4,400 years ago. I mean, that's another straw man.
All the trees, did he somehow save all the trees' seeds? How the hell would you save the seeds of every tree on this planet? How would you save all the different types of...
No. Noah did not have to take any trees on the ark. Only the land-dwelling animals, in whose nostrils was the breath of life. Noah did not have to take any trees or fish on the ark. The fish had plenty of water outside, and haven't you been any place where there's been a flood and later a lot of trees have grown after that? I mean, the place, or perhaps the cactuses, are in the desert is because they're the ones that are better suited for the desert and such, because they've adapted to it. I would say they're designed for those certain elements of being able to survive hot temperatures. I mean, before the flood, perhaps there was spring all year round. Did you know that a lot of frozen leaves have been found in Antarctica? There are no trees in Antarctica. There's a lot of elements here and there that trees from pole to pole existed, and that there have been frozen bobcats, frozen camels, and frozen bison found up near the North Pole. A lot of animals that don't usually live there now. And that evidence is overwhelming. There's a lot of explanations, even complex explanations, that can explain why certain plants decided to grow in certain parts of the world after the flood. It's not that hard.
And no offense, it's just not there.
I'm sorry, no offense, Sol Rosenberg, but the evidence for evolution is not there. I don't care what your petty beliefs are regarding the world around you. They're avidly wrong.
I'm not a scientist. I'm not extremely well educated in these...
And he uses this logic saying, but what you're saying is stupid. Think of all the other higher educated ones who will think, and what you're saying is stupid. No, that's not logical to argue, man. I mean, and also just to say, I don't care how many likes Sol Rosenberg has on his videos. Just because the majority believes something, that doesn't make it right. There was a whole bunch of majorities back then who thought the earth was a flat disk, while the Bible specifically said the earth was a sphere. Science now, of course, confirms the earth is a sphere. The Bible said a long time ago that there are numerous stars out there. Science then only said 1,100 stars. Science now says innumerable stars. I mean, you can just really scan through this list and understand that the Bible got the physics of science down a long time ago, and how science took a long time to catch up with it. I mean, of course, the Bible's not a science textbook because science textbooks change every year. We're trying to say that, oh, the science has proven the Bible wrong. The Bible got science right the first time. The very fact of you saying, I'm not a scientist, I'm not educated, I don't have a college education, then why are you making these videos? If you want to state a point, that's okay, but if you're wanting to believe that the Earth is millions of years old, and if you want to believe that we came from a rock, I mean, you're free to believe that. You're free to believe whatever you want, but that's not science.
Is based on observations looking at the Doppler shift of stars. You know when you hear a sound coming towards you, it goes do 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 do. Do you hear that?
Red shift. Ken Hovind already talked about that a long time ago, just to show to the testimony that you have not watched his videos and all your fallible assumptions and presumptions about regarding the world around you and that evolution is still true and that Earth is millions of years old have already been addressed by Ken Hovind. I mean, we're not nitpicking of little certain things of the evolution theory. Like, the whole evolution theory is one big hole. It was all put to rest by Ken Hovind like 10 years ago. I'd rather you check his stuff out.
Excuse me if I mispronounce these names to another who actually has an education, but there's no pronunciation guides. Synonyx, Pachycetus, Ambolucitus.
Perhaps all those skeletons are misidentified. You know, those who are wanting to salvage the Big Bang Theory or the evolution theory, they can make up a whole bunch of stories from just a few bones, can't they? Don't give it a fancy name. It might have even just been a crocodile, some other unidentified mammal. It probably proved wrong a long time ago, but it still remains in the textbooks, and it's brainwashing your generation, man.
14 different types of material dating that we use to get the age of the Earth at times.
And the majority of those have given ages less than billions of years. For example, the magnetic field of the Earth is declining. There is no evidence that it has reversed, it's just that it's declining. And in the past, it becomes too strong for life to exist, which means that the Earth is no more than 25,000 years old.
The evidence is there. The evidence was not based on someone's beliefs being validated. The evidence was based simply on observation.
Actually, it's based upon bias. They do observe, they find these evidences that support creation, and they're willy-nilly filtered out. And you just refuse to accept that.
If you want to continue to pretend that this is the world to you, that's, us versus them of the evil science cabal, you can go ahead, but you're in your own little world, man. You're not with the rest of us.
Sorry, Sol Rosenberg, but you're in your little world, and sad that many of those who follow you think that what you're saying is right, and we do not think that science is evil. Science was originally created to glorify God, because Satan knows that anyone who logically studies science will be drawn to the Creator, and Satan has worked really hard in the field of science to draw people away from the Creator. See, Satan always tries to destroy what God creates. I mean, God created you, but Satan is trying to destroy you and your whole conscience. And Satan is trying to destroy the field of science and trying to say, oh, science proves that God doesn't exist. Well, no, science actually confirms that God does exist. And regarding the many other religions out there, they're very superstitious and believe all sorts of unscientific things. And Sol Rosenberg, you're part of that. You're part of a superstitious religion, 200 years behind in their science. And I don't care what you say, man. The evidence really contradicts your beliefs. And that's not scientific. That's quite that's quite laughable, okay? You believe all sorts of laughable things. So that's all I got to say for this video.